To compare Gemini AI models for free, navigate to aistudio.google.com. In the top right corner, click on Compare, and it brings up a window with two panels side by side. So in these drop downs, you can select which AI models you want to compare. We'll stick with Gemini 1.5 Flash for the first one, and then for the second one, we'll select Gemini 1.5 Pro. You can adjust the settings for each respective AI model clicking on the gear icon. In here, you can change the temperature, which will allow you to adjust the creativity. The lower the temperature, it'll choose the tokens with the highest probability. For higher temperatures, it'll create responses with more creativity. You can enable JSON mode, where it'll return the output in JSON format. Code execution will run the code within the responses in a sandbox environment. Function calling will return generated function calls. Grounding will ground your responses in Google search results. You can edit safety settings. You can add stop sequences, where the AI model will look for specific strings to stop the response. You can change the output length. This is the maximum number of tokens to use in the response. And then you can change the top P, which is the sum of the probabilities of the tokens used in your response. So the lower the top P, the less creative your responses will be. You can provide system instructions like tone or style or formatting instructions for the model. There's some good documentation on this web page here, this Google AI documentation for developers. It'll give you some examples, including personas, roles, formats, as well as a few examples. We're going to provide this instruction here to act as a director of growth marketing for a SaaS that can manage all your rewards and loyalty accounts. We'll go to the bottom and provide a prompt to create a go-to-market strategy for the app, and then click on Run. So you can see both models go to work, and it makes sense that Flash is a bit faster, as it is Gemini's fastest AI model. You can see that it's more than twice as fast as Gemini Pro, while Gemini Pro has a context window with twice the length for that of Gemini Flash. Gemini Pro is more meant for sophisticated reasoning over vast amounts of data. If we take a look at the responses for Gemini Flash, we can see that it's formatted in sections or topics that is key elements of a go-to-market strategy. It includes target audience, value proposition, pillars of the strategy, including digital marketing, partnerships, community building, app store optimization, metrics for tracking, and then stages for launch and growth. Whereas the response from Gemini Pro provides a more streamlined output. It provides the phases, including what's included in each phase, performance indicators, budget allocation, and a contingency plan, which I don't think is needed because that should be common sense to look at your performance metrics and adjust accordingly. And what you can do is grab the code for either model by clicking on this icon at the top for each respective model. You can copy the code, choose what language you want to use, or export it to Colab. Now we're going to look at the model's visioning capabilities. So we'll go down to the bottom right, click on this plus icon to upload file. I'm going to choose this image of a dog covered in a blanket with sunglasses, and we'll prompt it to list what's in the image as bullet points, then describe what's happening. So for Gemini Flash, we have a dog, white sheet, sunglasses. The dog is partially covered by a white sheet with only his face and paws visible. The dog is wearing sunglasses. The breakdown for Gemini 1.5 Pro has a little bit more substance to it, describing the items in more detail, including the fur of the dog being short, reddish brown fur, only the nose, face, part of the front paw. It describes the large black frame sunglasses, but then it also notes that the white cloth or sheet creates kind of a ghost or a hidden effect. It describes what's happening and what the photographer might have been thinking in taking this picture, creating a humorous effect and even noting that it's likely staged for a photo opportunity. We'll upload another image and again list the items in the image and describe what's happening. There is a bit of blur in the image, so it'll have to work through that. 1.5 Flash model ignores the first part of the prompt to list all the items in the image as bullet points, but it does describe the items and what's happening in the image, while 1.5 Pro does list more details for each of the items. And it suggests that the image depicts someone who is working or studying, pausing to check their watch, possibly monitoring their time or noting the time. But it is missing what appears to be a second notebook on which the phone is placed. And we do have this warning of probability for unsafe content. We're going to run one more test with this image, asking it to list the items as bullet points, then identify how many people are depicted in the image. The Flash model is about 3 times faster than the Pro model, but it does miss some elements. It only identifies 1 pair of jeans, 2 white shoes, 2 yellow chairs, but there's actually 1 table and 1 yellow chair, a green cushion, plastic cups with beverages, and the brick walkway. And it incorrectly responds that there's only 1 person depicted in the image. So we can see that it's sacrificing accuracy for speed. On the other hand, with the Gemini 1.5 Pro model, it gives us these items and it infers the drinks in the cups. 1.5 Pro correctly provides the answer of 2 people depicted in the image. So, while it may take a bit longer than the Flash model, the accuracy is much better. If you found this useful, like the video and leave a comment. If you want more content on AI, workflow automation, and analytics, subscribe to the channel.